Meghan have once again participated in a crass, shameless publicity stunt. And once again, they are piggybacking off tragedy in order to promote themselves, because the couple were apparently meeting with the families of one of the Ulvade victims, and we have several photographs of Meghan Markle saying them happy birthday. The whole thing is just bizarre. And that's not because it is necessarily bad for them to visit the family. I have no issue with that. I have no issue with them being friends with the family. What I find strange, though, is why. Why are they there? They have no connection to Texas, no connection to Ulvade, besides Meghan Markle's shameless publicity stunt in 2022, and a couple of days after the tragedy, going there and making it all about herself for a couple minutes. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry just seem to completely lack the idea of optics, because when it comes to PR, optics is king. You need to make things look good. You need to make things palatable. And from the public, from the outside looking in, besides the fact that Meghan called the sister of the teacher, telling her how sorry she was that her sister lost her life, I just don't understand why they're there. What is their purpose? Are they going to show up at every tragedy that hits the United States thinking that they need to insert themselves into somebody else's life and somebody else's trauma? I think that might be the case. And just again, the question is, why? So we're going to discuss this today, especially the key and critical aspect of them trying to be royals in America, because this visit might work if they were in the United Kingdom and they were royalty. They are not anymore. And because of that, this visit does not work. It doesn't work, and their PR team needs to get their butts in gear if they want to save Harry and Meghan's reputation, because this thing does not palate well. Some UK outlets didn't even cover it. It's so strange. So we are going to discuss this today, but if you guys haven't been to Royal News Network, my name is Brittany. I provide y'all compelling royal commentary about the latest news, sometimes the things going on behind the scenes. So if you guys want to hit that subscribe button, that would be fantastic. I'm in the process of slowly developing, and hopefully will fully launch in April, a new news segment that will air on Wednesday. So it'll be a live stream and a podcast and a couple of different things. So I'm really, really excited for that. So if that's something that interests you, the members will get some earlier access to things just as I sort of streamline the process. I'll be covering all royal news of Europe, maybe some historical things, some recent television shows, just tons of things. I'm so excited about it, but I'm still formulating some of the final details. So that will hopefully launch here very, very soon. And I also have an upcoming trip to Scotland. So if you want to see the country that Her Majesty absolutely loved, we do have some spots still available, and the trip doesn't officially close, I think, until May, but if there's an opportunity to sign up now, you'll get to meet some great people who also love talking about royals. And I also have two people who are coming on this trip who are on one of my trips last year, so I'm so excited to chat with you guys again. It's going to be so amazingly fun. And I also have a deal with Ana Lucia Diamonds, so if you love any of my jewelry, it'll be linked below. Use code ROYAL20 for 20% off. So this broke late yesterday, and it was after I had done a long rewatch through of Meghan Markle's panel at the South by Southwest event. And what my big question was is, well, number one, if you guys are interested in the review, I will link that up above. And I will tell you right now, it was boring, trite, contrived, and just plain old not a very good panel. Felt like everybody was living in the 1960s. It was a little odd. It is 2024, but you wouldn't know women have had any progress in the world based on that panel. But my big question was, why in the world was Harry there? I mean, they have two children, and I would guess most working adults or working couples that when somebody has a conference event like this, it only lasts an hour. Why, it makes sense for just the one person participating to go, and the other person can maybe watch from home, or maybe they have a real job, and so they actually have to work, and so they don't get to travel for no discernible reason to this particular event. So Harry was there sitting in the front row with Marcus Anderson, and I just thought, does he really need to be here? I'm just very, very confused. But now we might know a little bit more why, because not only was their visit to Texas about going to the South by Southwest event. Oh, no. They also went and visited one of the families of the Ulvade Texas shooting that happened in 2022. It was a terrible tragedy. There was an elementary school, a shooter got inside, he took over a classroom, and unfortunately many, many children died. 19 students were fatally shot, 2 teachers were also fatally shot, and 17 other were injured but survived. And this tragedy also hit really, really hard with Americans because the police essentially let this guy hang out there and be the awful human being he was for like 45 minutes, an hour or something like that. There was a time where they could have entered in and put a stop to things, and they just essentially sat there and didn't seem to do anything. So it really raised a lot of eyebrows and a lot of frustrations that a police force, which is paid to respond to these type of situations, was not responding to this situation. But after this event, what really got a lot of eyebrows raised is that all of a sudden, Meghan Markle showed up. Meghan Markle showed up and laid a dead bit of flowers at the memorials for the children. And everybody was like, why? And her response essentially was, let's go ahead and read it, that she visited in a personal capacity as a mother. But that doesn't really make sense. Honestly, it really doesn't, because what she did by visiting and obviously making a spectacle of herself by going up in front of a whole slew of cameras where everybody could catch her laying flowers is that she made this tragedy about herself. Instead of flying there, putting down flowers and getting pictures taken and everything. I mean, she didn't get a lot. There were just like 1 or 2. In terms of actual, because they also donated some food, which looked like, honestly, Costco food they picked up from Costco, which is like a big sort of warehouse style store that we have here in the United States. And so it was just very, very strange at that time, because what did other mothers do? They mourned too, but they didn't go there so that they could make a scene of themselves. They stayed home. If they wanted to donate it, they donated. They didn't need to be there to be seen to make it about them. But that's exactly what Meghan Markle did. Meghan Markle made the shooting about herself by going, regardless of what she said, because that is how our media machine works. She knew exactly what she was doing when she went. She saw this tragedy. She's like, oh, as a mother, I feel so I must go to lend my aid, I guess, or something. I don't even get it. Because here's the thing too. She went there without really a discernible purpose, just to donate some food, which she could have easily had shipped instead of paying, I don't know, 6 figures to fly in. She probably spent more on the plane to fly there and back than she did on the actual food she gave, which again makes no sense. Even though they donated in part to a park that was built there, which they also apparently visited recently while they were there in Texas, they probably donated less to that than they did for Meghan to fly there and back for the initial visit. They still probably haven't recouped whatever Meghan took to privately fly to Ulvade, Texas. And again, all for seemingly a shameless publicity stunt, because there are things she could have done that did not involve her parading herself around in front of the cameras. She chose to do that. She knew exactly what she was doing. Make no mistake. She knew exactly what she was doing. And so when it comes to this more recent event, again, you wonder why? Why this particular family? Why does this particular family get this attention and other families don't? Because here's the thing, she and Harry could totally visit, but they should have insisted that any pictures that were taken remain private by encouraging perhaps the family to make the pictures public, because the guy who posted the most pictures, it sort of has a bit of a high profile on Twitter. He has like 22,000 followers. They knew immediately it would get picked up by the press. They wanted that. They wanted that. They wanted it to go out there that they've made this great visit to the family. Oh, and Meghan brought a cake. And when she started singing happy birthday, oh my goodness, nobody sang along. So she had to look back at Harry and go, my love. So go ahead and take a watch of this absolutely cringy video here.
Forever. Yes. Okay, here we go. Ready? Sorry. Everyone's singing too. Just you first and then we'll go after.
1, 2, 3.
Happy birthday to you.
Okay, I'm not taking anything away from the family. I'm sure they enjoyed having Harry and Meghan there. I'm sure it was a great coup. All the prayers and support to them. I have no issue with that. But you got to wonder, what is the purpose here? What is the driving force behind here? Is it really to support the family? Or is it for Harry and Meghan to promote themselves? And I would offer, of course, that it's the latter. Harry and Meghan were there for one sole reason: to promote themselves, to make themselves look good to the broader public, because there just didn't seem to be any other discernible purpose. And again, this goes back to their PR team. So Harry and Meghan, because of their weirdness about privacy, and I think because of the immensely bad backlash Meghan had to visiting Ulvade the first time, they've been a sort of clandestine about their support for Ulvade. I mean, we know they helped build the playground, but we don't know anything else they've done. They haven't really done the groundwork of building up a reason why they would be there. They've just seemed to be showing up for no reason. And then the interesting question becomes, why this particular family and why not everyone? Why not everyone? Why did they decide to go to this particular family to celebrate them in particular rather than everybody who was involved? Well, I would say it's because that family was more willing to give them publicity. I imagine some other families, when Harry and Meghan offered, were like, yeah, no, we're not interested. Because you don't know what the purpose of this visit is. And it was interesting because the guy who has a big social media account, he was blasting people and saying, I love the Sussex Squad on Twitter and all these sorts of things. And he's like, well, just because they're nice. I mean, Harry and Meghan, they're just being nice here. It's like, yeah, but most people don't do things without an ulterior motive. Like, you got to look beyond what you're seeing right here. So there is another motive going on behind the scenes. Because again, why else would they be there? Because this sets up a precedence now for Harry and Meghan, that every tragedy, every school shooting in the United States, Harry and Meghan should be there front and center now, because they've been to Ulvade. Why not anywhere else? Why not? It's a valid question, because they haven't set up a good reason why they're there. Like, if they were against gun violence, school shootings, something like that, if they made that a huge part of their platform, I would at least say, well, I understand somewhat why they're there. But without that, the messaging is just confusing. They just seem to be there because, oh, look, we can give a cake. We were in Texas. We wanted to show up. We wanted to get some good publicity out of it. That's literally what it looks like. And Harry and Meghan, again, could avoid this entirely. I don't know if it's them. I don't know if it's our PR team, but there is an incompetency here that they need to deal with because it just looks bad. It just looks bad. It looks like a crass, shameless publicity stunt. And I think part of this is that Harry and Meghan, again, want to be seen as American royals, the royals of America. That's what they're shooting for. And I have a huge problem with that because we don't have royals here in America. They are welcome to live here, but we do not have American royals. We don't. And Harry and Meghan, again, without the backdrop of being well connected with Ulvade, being well connected with other things, they don't seem to have a purpose here. Now, if they were royal, and by that I mean the royals of America, then it would make sense. Because what do royals do? Royals represent the country. They are sort of the backbone, the heart of the country in some ways, because they can often be sometimes more emotional than political figures. They go and they represent the government, the royal family, because the royal family is supposed to be sort of like the country's family. Sort of like the first family here in the United States, but very different because our first family obviously changes and can change quite a bit. So this family, the royal family, is that sort of continuous thread throughout history. So when they go to an event, let's say Catherine and William went to a memorial to represent those who were killed in the Manchester bombing after the Ariana Grande concert. Catherine and William went there, not only in their position as royals, but as representatives of the government. When Harry and Meghan visited this family, all they represented was themselves and their own business interests. That's all they represented. Now, yes, they do have a charity, but I think so much of their charity is wrapped up in their business interests at this point, and Meghan has made clear that she wants to focus on philanthropy and entertainment, then I don't know where the line is between the two, so we're just going to call it business. We're just going to call it business. So it looks like they're there solely for themselves. No other reason. No other reason, just for themselves. And so, again, just the optics of the situation come across very, very poorly. Just very, very poorly. And Harry and Meghan, Again, they have nobody else to blame but themselves. But this guy who runs this Twitter account, man, oh man, he was really trying to prop them up. So here's a couple of things that he said on Twitter. I literally posted a video proving Meghan Markle checks up on us, and yet I still have people in my comments saying horrible, untrue things about her, and somehow it was PR and I got paid. How can anyone speak about this when it's my experience with her? She's not an evil person you desperately want her to be, and I can promise you she wasn't paid, otherwise I wouldn't have only $43 to my name, or to prove that to you guys too. So this was actually in December, because apparently I think there was a call or something, and I don't think he's really understanding here is that because he is giving them publicity, they are getting something out of this. This is not just done altruistically. They're getting something out of this by him posting about it. And they're getting something out of it by him posting positively about them. And why is this not happening with all the families? Do all the families not want to do this? Do some families are like, yeah, we'll talk to you, but we really don't want to actually promote this? Or are Harry and Meghan leaning more on the family willing to promote them than families that are not? Again, once you start down this road, it looks really weird when you give attention to some families and not others. It just looks weird. It just looks weird because you're wondering why this particular family. So here's some more. Meghan Markle singing my mom happy birthday was the cutest, most adorable thing ever. She even bought her a cake. And again, you'll notice these are all about Meghan, by the way. By the way, the cake was a surprise for my mom. Meghan and Harry are so thoughtful and sweet for doing that. I love you, Sussex Squad. To be clear, I only tweeted this because you guys have been so nice to me and have the best intentions. Before I take a small break, I just want to say how grateful I am that Meghan and Harry took the time out of their busy schedules to visit with Irma and Joe's kids. It meant so much to them and us. Thank you to all the continued love and support from their supporters. Their supporters. And did you get that? Their supporters. Can't believe how loving and supportive they are, especially to my amazing cousins. What a great experience to be part of. Also says, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry came to my house. They're such a beautiful couple, and I'm so blessed, so glad they came to check up on the family. Now again, it could be that this guy is kind of young, but does he not see that this is sort of very self-promoting, especially to Meghan? It leans a lot on Meghan. They're so great. They're so wonderful. They're visiting. How great they are. They're so great. Everybody should love them because they're so great to us. And yes, that might be true. And I think that's great that they are getting support. I'm not taking that away from them. But I'm questioning if they really understand what are the intentions here, because the optics don't look great. They don't. And Harry and Meghan could be fully and completely supportive without having to make a spectacle of it at the same time. That's, I think, the disconnect here. Again, Harry and Meghan, 100% visit. Support the families, support all the families. But when you look like you're only supporting one, when you allow them to post so much and make such a highlight of it to the world, then it looks like it's just there to promote yourself at the end of the day. Support and promote how great you are because you're helping and supporting this family. Oh, look, we gave a birthday cake. We care so much. But they don't care about their own family. They don't. They could give a birthday cake to Catherine. They didn't do anything regarding Catherine's surgery as far as we're aware. Harry just spent 30 minutes with his father. He didn't even try to see what his father's schedule was to make sure he wasn't interfering with his father's rest, treatment, anything like that. Harry and Meghan only want to go to people who don't really know them, but are beyond willing to promote and tell the world how great they are, rather than seeing their family, working with their family, because that changes things, because family knows who you really are. They know who you really are. They know what your intentions truly are. And when you become friendly or whatever with strangers and have this little bit in their lives, they don't know the true you. They don't know. And so they can say how great you are because they don't really know any better. They don't know what goes on behind the scenes. They don't know that Meghan Markle allegedly bullied her staff members, with Harry gladly tagging along and doing the same. They don't know that they were incredibly difficult to the rest of the royal family, allegedly bullying Princess Charlotte and making Catherine cry, alleging that Catherine had a baby brain, and all the things Harry and Meghan did, mocking the Queen, making the funeral of Prince Philip about themselves by making sure that once Meghan Markle's wreath with her calligraphy letter was shown on television, that everybody knew every single detail about that particular wreath. Harry and Meghan cannot do anything without shameless self-promotion. And again, I blame Obviously, this is hugely driven by especially Meghan, I believe, because Harry wasn't totally like this before. This is all Meghan. But also, Meghan's PR team needs to take a big old dose of reality check here, because you are doing your client absolutely no favors by allowing and continuing these obvious publicity stunts. Like, we all see what this is. Like, this is not a mystery to anybody what they're doing. This is not a mystery. So you guys need to figure out how to better advertise your clients, how to better manage your clients. But I think Harry and Meghan are unmanageable. And because of that, their PR is constantly scrambling, trying to figure out how to portray them better. But then Harry and Meghan just step and walk into disaster after disaster. It just does not work. It doesn't work. And I just think Harry and Meghan continue to look terrible across all spectrums, because this could have been done well. This could have been done well. But like everything about Harry and Meghan, it's done incredibly poorly, with little foresight, and a bit too much focus on getting as much attention as humanly possible, and making what could be a lovely day and a lovely event into seemingly a crass publicity stunt. So guys, let me know what you think of this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you soon. Bye.